Hello, everyone. Today, I want to tell you a story that changed the course of a young girl's life. A story that begins in a small town in Argentina, but reaches all the way to the halls of one of the most prestigious medical schools in the United States. If you dream of becoming a doctor, an engineer, a lawyer, a leader, or simply want to help people in moments that matter most, you need English, 100%. There is no doubt about it. English is not just a subject in school. It's the language of medicine, of science, of travel, of the internet. It's the bridge between lives and the difference between hope and despair. Imagine this. A patient's life hangs in the balance. You have seconds to act, and the only thing standing between you and saving that life is language. That's exactly what happened to Camila, the daughter of a small-town doctor in Argentina. One summer afternoon, she saw something she would never forget. It was the moment that opened her eyes to the reality of our world today, a world where people, cultures, and emergencies cross borders every single day, a world where English can mean the difference between saving a life and losing it. And from that moment, she made a promise to herself. No matter how hard it would be, no matter how long it would take, she would master English, not for grades, not for travel, but to be ready when someone's life depended on her. Camila was born in a quiet town in northern Argentina. Her family lived a modest life, not rich, not poor, just enough to get by. Her father was the town's only doctor. Her mother worked in the small public library. From the time she could walk, Camila followed her father through the hospital halls. She loved the smell of antiseptic, the soft beeping of monitors, the steady voice of her father as he spoke to patients. To her, he was a hero in a white coat. Her father had a simple rule. Medicine is about time and trust. The faster you act, the more lives you save. The more trust you build, the more your patients let you help them. Camila never forgot those words. But there was one thing her father never taught her. Not because he didn't want to, but because he couldn't. English. He didn't need it much in their small town. Most patients spoke Spanish, just like them. Camila went to a public school where English was little more than greetings and colors. Hello. How are you? My name is Camila. That was about it. She never thought she would need more. But the world has a way of surprising you, and one summer afternoon, it did. It would test everything she thought she knew about medicine, about her father, and about herself. It was a hot afternoon in January, summer in Argentina. Camila was helping her mother in the library when the phone rang. It was the hospital. They needed her father. A tourist had been in a motorcycle accident. He was badly hurt. Minutes later, the wail of an ambulance cut through the quiet streets. Camila ran to the hospital. The emergency room doors flew open. 2 paramedics rushed in, pushing a stretcher. On it, a man in his 30s, pale, bleeding, his eyes darting in panic. Her father moved fast. He checked the man's pulse, his breathing, the injuries. "Does he have allergies? Has he had any surgery before?" he asked. The man just stared, breathing heavily. He spoke, but in English, fast, slurred, full of fear. Her father didn't understand. The nurses didn't understand. They tried gestures, pointing, guessing. Precious seconds ticked away. The man's blood pressure dropped. Her father's voice grew urgent, his movements quicker, sharper. Camila stood frozen by the wall. She watched her father's hands work like lightning. But his eyes, they were searching, desperate for answers he couldn't get. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the bleeding was under control. The tourist would live, but everyone in the room knew it had taken longer than it should have. That night, Camila couldn't sleep. Her father's words echoed in her head. Medicine is about time and trust. She realized they had almost lost both because of a language barrier. The next morning, Camila found her father at the kitchen table. His coffee sat untouched. He was staring at nothing. She sat down across from him. "Papa, yesterday, if you had known English—" He lifted his hand gently, stopping her. "I know," he said quietly. His eyes were tired, but steady. "That man was lucky, but luck is not a plan. In medicine, seconds matter. We can't waste them." Camila took a deep breath. "Then I'll learn. I'll learn English, Papa. I'll help you in the hospital. I'll talk to the patients when you can't." He looked at her for a long moment. "You really mean that?" "Yes." Her voice didn't shake. Not this time. He nodded slowly. "Then start today. Don't wait for school. Don't wait for the right moment. There is no right moment. Only now." That evening, Camilla made her first plan. She didn't have much money for classes. She didn't have native speakers around her. But she had determination. She borrowed English books from the library. She downloaded free audio lessons. She labeled everything in the house: door, chair, window, medicine. She practiced pronunciation in front of the mirror. In her notebook, she wrote one sentence in big, bold letters: "One day, I will speak English fast enough to save a life." At first, it was awkward. Camilla's tongue felt heavy, her words slow. She would try to say a sentence and halfway through, forget the last word. But she didn't stop. She made a rule for herself: 3 new words every day. Learn them, use them, repeat them until they became part of her. She changed her phone to English. She switched the subtitles on her favorite shows, then turned them off completely. At first, she caught almost nothing. It was frustrating. But little by little, familiar words began to appear. In the market, she would whisper to herself in English. In the street, she pretended to be on a phone call, describing everything she saw. "The man is wearing a blue shirt. A dog is sleeping in the sun. I am walking to the store." Her classmates laughed when she mispronounced words. She ignored them. She knew why she was doing this. Still, there were days she felt stuck. One afternoon, she tried to follow an English podcast about first aid. She understood almost nothing. She slammed her notebook shut. "This is impossible," she thought. But then she remembered the man on the stretcher, her father's eyes searching for answers. She opened the notebook again. Camilla started shadowing, repeating every line from TV shows, copying tone, speed, even emotion. It felt silly at first, but after weeks, her pronunciation improved. She sounded more natural. She also began volunteering at the local bus station. Tourists came through often. She greeted them in English, answered simple questions, gave directions. Every conversation was a small victory. Her father noticed the change. He would call her into the hospital when foreign patients arrived. At first, she only translated basic questions. "Are you allergic to any medicine? Where does it hurt?" But over time, she handled entire conversations. A year passed. Her confidence grew. She applied for a scholarship program, one that would take her to the United States to study pre-medicine and improve her English even more. The application required an English interview. She was nervous. The day of the interview, she sat in front of the webcam. The interviewer smiled and asked, "Why do you want this scholarship?" Camilla took a breath. She didn't translate in her head. She didn't freeze. She told her story: the tourist, the hospital, her father, her promise. When she finished, the interviewer's eyes were warm. "Camila," he said, "welcome to the program." Camila arrived in the United States with one suitcase, a pocket dictionary, and a heart full of determination. The first weeks were overwhelming. Professors spoke fast. Medical terms were everywhere. Even buying groceries felt like a test. But she had been here before, in spirit. She remembered her first days learning English back home, the confusion, the frustration, and the victories. So she pushed on. She recorded every lecture and listened to them again at night. She made flashcards for complicated anatomy terms. She joined study groups, forcing herself to speak even when she wasn't sure of every word. She worked part-time in the university clinic, where real patients came in every day, from every corner of the world. One afternoon, a woman rushed into the clinic. Her young son was struggling to breathe. The mother spoke no Spanish, no other language, only English. Camila stepped forward without thinking. Her voice was calm, her questions clear. Within minutes, the boy was on treatment, his breathing steady again. When the mother realized Camila was the one who had guided the process, she grabbed her hand. "Thank you, doctor," she whispered, tears in her eyes. That night, Camila walked back to her dorm under the city lights. For the first time, she felt the full weight of what she had achieved. She wasn't just speaking English now, she was using it to give people time, to earn their trust, to save their lives. Years later, she graduated as Dr. Camila Reyes. As she held her diploma, she thought of her father back in Argentina and the tourist whose accident had started it all. Listen to me carefully. Camila was not born lucky. She didn't grow up speaking English. She didn't have endless resources or fancy schools. She started with almost nothing except a reason. And that reason changed everything. You might be in the same place she once was, struggling with English, doubting yourself, thinking it's too late, too hard, or not worth it. But here's the truth. No one is coming to save you, not your parents, not your teachers, not your friends. If you want to change your life, you have to start, you have to decide, and then you have to work. Learn English like someone's life depends on it, because one day it might. One day, you might be the only person who can understand, the only one who can speak up, give the right answer, and act in time. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start now. Read, listen, speak, every single day. Make mistakes, get embarrassed, grow. Camila's life changed because she refused to stay where she was. She crossed borders, not just between countries, but between who she used to be and who she chose to become. And when you do the same, when you finally become the person you were meant to be, you'll look back and realize the world was in your hands all along. So what will you do? Stay the same or start today?